Big Skin Politics, Brandon, Nick, Week 17. It's finally happened. We're almost at playoffs. It was a fun season for some of us, I guess. Not so great for others, but that's the nature of the beast. What's the first game?
Miami at New England. Honestly, I see no reason why Miami wins this game because New England's fighting for a second seed, and I think that's more important. So
I'll be an asshole. I'll pick Miami. Straight up. Just no real reason. But we have beat New England in Week 17 many times before and knocked their playoff seeding. So let's just find it funny that Ryan Fitzpatrick could do that. It's totally possible, given how their offense has been playing.
They're not very good.
The Patriots?
No, their offense isn't very good.
No, exactly.
Dolphins' team isn't very good, though.
Maybe we'll pull out some trick plays and screw them over. There's really no reason, but I'll go with Miami.
All right, fine. Jets at Buffalo.
So, Bills are locked into their seed. I think that... Are they locked in their seed?
Yeah. Yes, I don't think they could lose the 5th seed.
Okay, well, then they have nothing to play for. The Jets have rattled off a meaningless win streak just so Adam Gase can try and keep his job. I'll pick the Jets just because, they're idiots and they're just ruining their draft capital. And they stopped 5 weeks ago. They'd be a top 3 pick, but go figure.
This one's hard. It's Week 17. Buffalo doesn't have much to play for.
Doesn't have anything to play for.
The Jets, same, don't have anything to play for, so I just go with the Jets just because they're dumb, but you said they're probably like, yeah, prove we're good, and then next year you'll still suck and you'll ruin your draft picks, so...
We'll sweep them next year, it'll be great. Adam Gase, I love him.
Cleveland at Cincinnati.
Cleveland wins this one. The Bengals had a miraculous comeback last week and still fell short. Whereas Cleveland, I feel, is really disappointed in themselves for a really disappointing season. So they'll do it just so they can be like, well, see, we had this many wins as opposed to this many.
Probably. I'll pick Cleveland just for shits and giggles, but really, both of these teams are super disappointing.
Yeah.
Cincinnati's got nothing to play for.
They've locked
terrible.
The first pick.
They've locked the first.
Speaking of, remember I called that. I said the Bengals would be the worst. No one took me up on that.
So the Giants would be the worst. They're pretty damn bad.
Well, they're a 4-win team. 4 times better than the Bengals.
Well, they've won 1 game.
But whatever. I'll still go with Cleveland, even though Cincy could play for pride. But I kind of doubt it. They got their 1 win. They're fine. They got their pick. Screw it.
Cleveland. Green Bay at Detroit.
Green Bay has it. I mean, Detroit should have won the first time, but ever since that loss, Detroit's just given up on the season. They're nothing like what they were.
Green Bay needs to hold on to that first round bye as hard as they possibly can, and Detroit's not very good, so...
And Green Bay, with that bullcrap win over Detroit, is now just 1 game short of sweeping the division. So I really think they'll play just for that reason. Green Bay.
Sure, Green Bay. All right, Chargers at Kansas City.
Chiefs have everything to play for, and the Chargers can't win divisional games. They are now 0-5 divisionally. Jesus. Yep.
Could you not lead?
Very disappointing season.
At least Kansas City has the hopes of maybe getting a first-round bye if New England loses, so they'll at least want to win this game.
KC is undefeated divisionally, and off of that, like you said, go for the seed. Maybe New England drops to Miami. But KC needs to win regardless of that happening. So they'll take care of business as they always do.
Sure. All right, Chicago at Minnesota.
I actually think Chicago takes this one. Minnesota got locked into the 6th seed last night by virtue of getting their ass clapped by the Packers. And I think they need to rest starters and come up with a game plan for who they're going to play against. And I see no benefit to playing here, whereas the Bears also had a very disappointing season, so they're going to do the same thing the Browns did.
There's a lot of weird, disappointing games. Like, this week's going to suck.
It really is.
I'd also go with Minnesota.
I said the Bears.
Or I'm just going to go with Minnesota. If you lose on Monday Night Football, at least win this game and then go in the playoffs. Pretty sure. Aren't they locked in the 6th seed? Like, they clinched that?
Yeah. They can't catch the Seahawks or the Niners.
Maybe they would rest their starters.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
regardless-
there's nothing to play for.
I still think they beat Chicago just because screw Chicago.
Minnesota's not really that good at the division this year. They just got swept by the Packers. They already lost the Bears once. I kind of think they lose this one.
I think they'll win. Atlanta at Tampa Bay. And Atlanta's doing what they did last year to where they got really hot at the end of the year instead of just tanking, ruining your draft capital. Because they're good, but for some reason they never beat Tampa Bay all that much.
Yeah. I kind of think Tampa takes it. Tampa already ruined their draft capital too, but I kind of think Tampa Bay is more stubborn in that case. Plus, Jameis Winston's probably going to throw for 500 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. And how are you going to stop that? You just can't.
Sure.
So I'll go with Tampa.
I'll also go with Tampa because Jameis Winston is just football, Jesus, and Satan all in the same time.
Yeah.
So there's nothing really to say about most of these freaking games.
Yeah.
All right, New Orleans at Carolina.
New Orleans has to play for their seed. Carolina does not. Carolina, remember when we thought they were good? Damn.
Yeah.
They just got destroyed by the Colts of all teams. New Orleans gonna have it. The Saints could play their starters for 2 quarters, and I think they'd have enough of a lead that they could rest them the rest of the game.
Same thing. I think
Yeah.
the Saints should win this game because they have opportunities to go up in the seeding. Granted, if Green Bay or Seattle or the Niners, however that flops to get them up in that first round bye realm, but
Yeah.
they shouldn't lose to Carolina.
There's
Carolina
no real
blows.
reason they do.
All right, Washington at Dallas.
Dallas?
You know that meme on NFL memes that's going around of all the quarterbacks just looking at the camera and
Checking
saying,
if it's still them boys.
please add Dwayne Haskins to that list.
Oh, come on, then. It's not gonna happen. But holy crap if it did.
Dallas is going to win.
Yeah.
Washington's just terrible.
Yep.
But Dallas is also pretty bad.
Dude, Dallas just ruined their season last week.
They lose to the Eagles, man. They're not even good.
They aren't. Now they're counting on Daniel Jones to save the day.
Counting on the Giants to win, and
Well, if they lose, the Eagles win the division outright. Yeah. They just... Remember when people were trying to say the Cowboys were good? Sorry. It wasn't true.
all right. Oakland at Denver.
I'll take Oakland this time. Broncos have had a very disappointing season. But at least Oakland's been a fighter. Granted, Oakland's dropped at least 2 games that were just out of left field, like against the Jets and the Jags. But because of that, I thought they'd lose last week, and then they controlled the game against the Chargers, and they played it well. And I feel if they lost their last home game ever, beating Denver would be a big thing for them. So I think they're going to do that.
This one's a tough one.
Yeah.
It really is in Week 17 when we really don't know what teams really care or if they don't care.
Well, the Raiders will care because they still could make the
It
playoffs.
still could, but they're going to need a lot of help. They're going to need the Colts to win. They're going to need the Steelers to lose.
It
they're
helps.
Need the Titans to lose.
It starts with them winning this game, though. And even if there's a shot, do you think they're just going to give up?
I kind of think Denver's going to try to be dicks and just try to end their season.
It's
All
possible.
right. I think Denver wins.
I think Oakland.
All right. Arizona at the Rams.
God, that's lame. That one's finally a lame one. Props to Arizona. They crushed Seattle, ruined their seeding. But Seattle can still control their own destiny. I think if they win, they still take the division. But the Rams, you guys got no one to blame but yourselves. I told you were low-key trash, and you gave the game away against the Niners, and you controlled it. You made that happen. Sorry, you suck. I saw this coming.
I don't think they're terrible, but they have literally nothing to play for. Out of the Rams, just lose, go up 1-2 spots in the draft. Fuck it, just lose to Arizona.
I think
Throw them a bone.
I think they'll beat Arizona because I don't think they're smart. I think that's what it comes down to. Everyone was talking about how great their coaching staff was, how great their team looked. No, I think they've had a lot of very fortunate schedule breaks in games, and I think they'll just win this one because they're morons.
All right. Philadelphia at the Giants.
Philly wins this just to get their division.
They have to try as hard as they possibly can.
Daniel Jones doesn't look very good. I think Philly does what they need to do. They barely survived the Giants 2 weeks ago. This is their chance to right the ship, honestly, and I think they will. I think they're fine.
Indy at Jacksonville.
Is it possible the Jags win this? Not really. No. Go with the Colts. At the very least, I just think the Colts rode the high of beating the crap out of the Panthers, so I think they'll just try and close strong.
They'll probably try and close strong.
Yeah.
They got nothing to play for. Jacksonville. It's so hard. I could literally just take a coin and just flip it. Like, yep, that's the winner's heads.
Yep.
And then it's Jacksonville. I'd go with Jacksonville because it's week 17. It's almost harder than picking in week 1 because I don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I don't know which team's going to show up. Are they going to care? They're not going to give a shit?
I don't think they'll care, but I think that'll still be good enough to get them to win. And I think the Jags are going to release Nick Foles, too.
They should.
He robbed the hell out of him. That contract was massive.
Pittsburgh at Baltimore.
I actually think Baltimore wins.
I think they're going to put in their second string. They already said they would.
Yep.
But I know they're going to try as hard as they can.
Even with your backups, I think you beat the Steelers. Yes.
The Steelers suck.
They do. They really, really do. Look at how bad the Jets have been all year. Scored 16 points and beat the Steelers. I told you. The Jets aren't good, and the Steelers lost to them.
That and the Steelers don't know what they're doing at quarterback. They're flip-flopping. Okay, you go in. No, you go in. No, you go in.
Yeah, within, half a game, they already benched Hodges and then had to put Hodges back.
Hodges is going to start against the Ravens.
I think it's not enough to win. I think the Steelers just don't know what they're doing. I think Ravens win anyway. And I think it's hilarious just because, screw the Steelers. I hated that the refs tried to put them in the playoffs anyway.
I think the Ravens are going to try to knock them out.
Yep.
All right, Tennessee at Houston.
This is one that's difficult. But Texans have their division locked. Their only hope of moving up in seeding is if KC loses. They'd have to lose the Chargers, which is very unlikely.
That's unlikely as hell.
Yeah, so I kind of think Texans, although they say they're going to have their starters in, I don't think they're going to try that hard. And I think the Titans win this, and I think they get the 6th seed.
Why is Houston playing their starters? Honestly, if you can't really move up in the seeding without help and it's unlikely it'll happen, just why are you risking an injury just to go up to a 3 seed?
I don't know, but it was a very close game a couple weeks ago between these two teams. I think they match well. I think this will be a good one. I still think the Titans. I think, they're going to have their starters in, but more or less to keep them fresh for the playoffs.
I'm also going to pick the Titans just because they're going to try as hard as they freaking can.
Yeah.
Because they got everything to play for. If they win, they're in. And if they don't, they could still get in, but Steelers would have to win to kick them out anyway. San Francisco at Seattle.
What do you think?
I think this is probably one of the only meaningful games this entire week for some reason, because this is for the division.
Yeah, and
between two teams that can win
possibly the 1st, 2nd, and 5th seed in the NFC. It's that crazy.
NFC is freaking crazy. Why did Seattle have to lose to the Cardinals?
I have a theory about that, but I'll let you pick first.
They did beat San Francisco, but San Francisco's a really good team. This is a hard one to pick, man. Probably San Francisco.
Okay. I understand that. But here's my thing. I'm not saying Seattle intentionally lost to Arizona. However, losing to Arizona doesn't hurt the Seahawks as long as they win this game. And what I think they did was, rather than game plan for the Cardinals at all, they just planned for the Niners for 2 weeks.
Why wouldn't they just beat the Cardinals and have the division wrapped up in 16?
It doesn't.
In week 16. Why risk it, though?
I don't know why they did, but I think they would have blocked it. But
that's dumb.
That would explain why they had such a flat performance.
Maybe.
I think you're right. Through tiebreakers, they would have had it locked by last week. So that
they would have one more win.
No. The Rams needed to beat the Niners for that to happen. So, So that game effectively was meaningless. And
How is it meaningless? They'd have one more win though.
Because if they beat the Niners, they get the tiebreaker anyway.
Yeah, but if they would have beat the Cardinals, they would have been one win ahead of the Niners.
But the Niners would have had the tiebreaker.
If they win,
I don't.
they have to beat Seattle.
It was a lateral move, okay? So they could have beat the Cardinals, wouldn't have mattered. This still would have been for the division. The only thing that would have helped the Niners or the Seahawks was if they had, if the Rams had lost and had beat the Niners. You're confusing the hell out of me. This isn't hard. Basically, in order for the Seahawks to secure the division, they needed the Rams to beat the Niners. And then for them to beat the Cardinals. The moment the Rams did not beat the Niners, that game was moot. It was going to come down to this game to decide the division anyway. So I think they just didn't practice for the Cardinals and only practiced for the Niners. It was completely moot.
They should have just won. They'd have another win.
I think no one's going to pick them because that flat performance, but I think the reason they had that flat performance was they just didn't game plan, and they were game planning for the Niners.
Okay.
Yeah. And that'll about do it, honestly.
All right, we'll be back for the playoffs.
Yeah. And yeah. All right, cool. Bye.